Hello and welcome to this week's Climate Dispatch. My name is Dan Fingus. I'm with Vermont Conservation Voters. This is my colleague Evelyn Seidner, the Climate Action Organizer. We are so lucky on this beautiful day to be standing here with Windsor County Senator and Chair of the Climate Solutions Caucus, Becca White. Thank you for joining us, Senator. Wanted to give you a little update about what's been going on. This past weekend, we had a very successful Changemaker Summit in Harwood and in Moortown. And we had over 220 folks in attendance. We heard from Congresswoman Becca Ballant, Secretary of State Sarah Copeland-Hanzis, and State Treasurer Mike Pieciak, and they really fired up the crowd to keep having hope, to keep fighting, and to keep working towards the Vermont that we all want to see, even despite the attacks we're seeing on the federal level. Here in Montpelier, the work continues. The state legislature is working through so many important bills, but the one we're going to talk about today is what we all lovingly call the T-bill, which is the big transportation budget bill every year. Senator White, you sit on the Senate Transportation Committee, and the T-bill is now in the Senate. Tell us about how it's been going. Any updates on what's going on?
Yeah, well, we've had quite the week with the T-bill, as it's lovingly called, H944, if you want to be exact. The bill starts in the House, and then it comes over to the Senate, so we're kind of the final quick pass through is what it felt like this week. But I would say the most important thing for folks who are concerned about the climate, you probably know that transportation in Vermont is our largest carbon emitting sector. And I feel like we have to repeat that, and it surprises members of our committee every time.
It's not just about roads.
It's not just about roads and bridges. We cover boats too, but with the impacts that our transportation sector has on our environment as a state, it's a place that we need to prioritize transitioning. So while we didn't get everything I'd say that we wanted in the T-bill this year from a climate perspective, we did get some changes to a program called the mileage-based user fee. And Evelyn could tell you all about it too, because she sat through the committee hearings. But a mileage-based user fee is a way to transition us from relying exclusively on the gas tax, which is our main form of revenue for funding roads, bridges, and public transit in our state, and to transition us towards you paying as a user of the roads, if you're a regular pleasure car driver, not a big truck, those users paying per mile. And so the program starts with battery electric vehicles being the first tranche of folks who are going to be impacted by this. And I think the conversations in committee that were most dynamic were, how do we make a fair and equitable system? And for me, in my views, not punish or harm electric vehicle adoption at the same time. So I think we landed in a okay place. I think we're not chalking up as a win, but we're not chalking up as a loss, because the MBUF, that mileage-based user fee program, is what we would consider voluntary, because there's a fixed amount, a flat fee that you can pay as an EV driver starting when the program begins in 2028 will be the first year you're charged, but you'll pay $178, or you can choose to be a part of the launching of the mileage-based user fee, which is where at your inspection, you get your odometer, and then again at your second inspection that following year, you get another odometer read, and the mileage that you have driven in between those two times is what you pay with a fixed fee to the DMV. So it's a different way of paying, and hopefully we can make sure that the rollout of it doesn't dampen EV sales, but in fact is simple and cost effective and helps us with that declining gas tax revenue. So yeah. Well, and one thing we should talk about, I don't want to forget, and Evelyn really helped us with this, but Drive Electric Vermont, I would say one win we got in the T-bill this year was in the House, it came over at around $190,000 as a thank you, as an amount that they were getting for Drive Electric, and we got it up so that they are getting a complete package of $325,000. So little things, but I feel confident with the T-bill this year.
Well, that's really great. Appreciate your leadership. I know you've always been on the transportation committee.
Yes.
It's your love, it's your passion, and we really appreciate the leadership that you continue to show. And obviously for being with us today. Yeah. Evelyn, you want to tell people what they can do to help us make a better T-bill?
Yes, definitely. Just want to reiterate what Dan said. Becca, you were a huge part of our advocacy efforts and making sure that the T-bill is the best it can be. And we're just really grateful to have you on the team and working so hard in our transportation sector. It is a really big issue that the state needs to focus on, both in emissions, like you said, but also because our transportation fund is in a $33 million deficit, and that's a huge issue that we need to work on. So I'm hopeful that the mileage-based user fee and what we've done this year is going to help that deficit kind of become less and less each year going forward. And yeah, like Becca said, just making sure that in the first years of this new program, it remains voluntary so that we are not penalizing the drivers of the cleanest, most efficient and cost-effective vehicles in Vermont. So please, if you can, urge your senator to support a voluntary program, and a very kind of stepped, stabilized approach to rolling out this completely new program that's going to be significant for Vermont. And just one last thing I want to mention, really appreciate the Senate Transportation Committee for including all vehicles under this plan so that eventually it won't just be for EV drivers, but it will be for everyone.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next week.
Thanks.